Lifting family, welcome back. So the basement, you can see it in the backdrop here. I really like the way that this looks, and I'm hoping that the front-facing camera that I'm using right now, just trying to simplify videos, I'm hoping that this looks good and the quality looks good, because this is a lot easier than trying to do a setup with a camera stand and a bunch of other stuff in terms of getting a decent looking image. So this video is going to be focused on the training. So I am in phase 2 of the Jack and Tan program, modified, I guess I would call it. I tried to make sure that I was explaining in my last video. I don't really want to show too much as far as like a complete program. Bits and pieces you can see and things like that, but I really just suggest you going to Cody Lefever's blog spot for GZCL and or just Google Jack and Tan 2.0, and you'll be able to start finding some things and doing your own research. That way it's not taking away from all of the free content that he's got out there that is fantastic and amazing and just a wealth of knowledge. So in terms of this video, I want to make sure that I'm going over, I'm in phase 2, so I'm essentially, I've gone through 5 weeks of basically just making sure that I'm getting used to movements that I may not have been doing before. Most of them I was doing before, but I wasn't really focusing too much on like 1 rep max, specific type things. And I'm not getting into like a powerlifting aspect where I'm getting down to like a specific 1 rep max where I'm actually doing 1 rep. I am mostly focusing on 12 reps at the start and then getting down to 5 reps within 5 weeks. So with this, everything just kind of ramps up, the intensity ramps up, the volume ramps up, and then the cycle itself repeats. So the first phase, essentially, I don't know that I have a clip of the first phase, but it is just mostly like a warm up where in week 1, I wasn't really doing any like max rep plus sets and things like that in terms of some of the tier 2 exercises. But now that I'm in phase 2, I've actually increased the intensity of my some of my back off sets and in terms of some of my tier 2 type lifts. So these are things that might not make sense, and again, that's where it's going to be really important. Check out Jack and Tan 2.0, and then this program will make a little bit more sense, but I'm not suggesting you follow it. I just want to show you that lifting dad still lifts. And so week 1 is essentially 12 rep max, and what I like to do is make sure that I find my 12 rep max off of a 1 rep max calculator. I tend to get too much in my own head when it comes to how I feel and how a weight feels, and so I don't get like a true test of whatever my 12 rep max would be. So I have to kind of go off of a calculator and I look at that number and I focus on that, and that way what I can do is I can say, all right, well, this week it calls for 12 rep max, so based off of my 1 rep max, what should that be? And then if it feels light, I mean, luckily if it feels like I can get another rep or 2 out of it, that's something that I can try for. But with this, I'm also going off of a little bit of a fatigue scale too, because I'm not going for a true 12 rep max. I'm going for like what would be like a 14 rep max, but I need to get 12 reps because I need to leave 1 to 2 reps in the tank. A lot of confusion, right? But at the same time, I'm using that 1 rep max calculator. I start off with a nice lat pull down type movement. I actually like these. I found that a lot with directly overhead type lat pull downs and things like that. It's just a lot of like movement on the spine. It tends to be like a buildup of pressure. And I had found that a channel on TikTok, or like a person on TikTok, JPG Coaching, who had found this from N1 Training. And so I knew that I was onto something, because I like straight arm pullovers. I really like the way that feels. It feels good on my shoulder. And so I was starting to experiment with this movement, and luckily I had seen that other people were doing something quite similar to this. And then doing a close grip overhead press, I noticed that with my elbows, brought in a little bit more. It falls in line with what I'm doing and how I'm feeling, so that helps out quite a bit as well. And that makes sure that in terms of overall shoulder health, shoulder strength, I am able to still push through that. So those would be the tier 1 movements, and then tier 2 is basically just the complementary type stuff. So for these, also making sure that I'm going for a specific number of reps. And with that, I can actually get to a plus set. So in phase 1, I wasn't really doing a plus set on my last set of tier 2 exercises. But I was on phase 1. I missed that part. Phase 1, there's a rep max at the end. So basically you do your 12 rep max, and then you do your back off sets for whatever is listed. And then on that last set of those back off reps, you basically just get to go all out. Obviously not going to like true failure to where if you miss a rep, you're stuck there. But basically, like a 9.5 is kind of where I'm at with that. And then in terms of that, the tier 2, in phase 2, I'm now having a plus set on my last set. So I'm also able to do that as well. So in terms of that, if you've got any questions, definitely comment down below. Also do remember to throw a like up. I'm trying to do more of these videos. I can have more content like this where I'm just able to shoot from a camera and make things a little bit easier. But in terms of those tier 2 movements, those are just complementary type movements. So last set there, doing the plus reps, and that's what I'm essentially showing you. And then the final portion is just the tier 3 stuff. So this is more like, these are more like fluff type movements. These are things that are more like the bodybuilding pump aspect. And then the first week is 16 reps here. So this is something where I need to make sure that I'm doing my first set. Essentially, I'm going for whatever I can do for 16 reps. It's kind of an odd number because for whatever reason in bodybuilding, it always seems like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20. So 16 is a little bit of an off number, but at the same time, that is what the goal is here. And then basically you're just, your first rep, you're repping all the way out for whatever you can do for 16 reps. If you get 15, that's okay. If you get 17, that's fine as well. If you get like 20 or something like that, you're obviously gonna wanna increase the weight in the future or maybe on your next set. But the goal of these sets based on the program is essentially to find, work up to what you could do for 16 reps. And there's a lot of content when it comes to the Jacked and Tan 2.0 program. So I was trying to find out from Cody what would be best here, and it just, in terms of this, kind of knowing where you stand on 12 reps, 15 reps for an exercise is going to really help you out, and that way you can kind of know what way to grab and use for these max rep sets. And then basically you're just doing those. I like to superset, so that's what I've done here. And I always like to make sure that I'm including some level of legs in my program just because my hip is starting to feel better, but I don't want to do too much in one leg day. So I've essentially got like one solid leg day, one half leg day, and then just basically some movement type stuff that I'm including as well. So I know that was a lot of rambling. I'm hoping that the video helps include some semblance of making sure that this all makes sense, but this is kind of like getting back used to explaining my training. So outside of that, click that like if you like videos like this. Comment down below because I hope there are a lot of questions because I know I got some. And then do remember to click that subscribe button. Hoping to get back into things in terms of being able to do at least 1 video a week, maybe 2. Again, this is more of what I would deem like a vlog style video. So vlogs like this are easy. So outside of that, thanks for watching, and as always, keep pushing.